Hi, my name is Bronwen Wyatt. I'm the pastry chef and owner of Bayou St. Cake. Last time I showed you how to make my single layer sour cream and cornmeal cake and my olive oil Swiss meringue buttercream. Today I'm going to show you how to crumb coat and decorate our cake using really simple tools that you might already have in your kitchen. Don't forget to check out my last video to see the recipe and techniques for assembling both the sour cream and cornmeal cake and this smooth and luscious extra virgin olive oil Swiss meringue buttercream. We're going to begin by putting a crumb coat on our cake. The barrier of buttercream on the surface of the cake really locks in the crumbs on the cake that might kind of pop out and get on the surface of your buttercream otherwise. And just kind of roughly smooth it out over the surface of your cake. If you ever feel like you have too much buttercream on your offset spatula, just scrape it off. You can go ahead and dip it back into your warm water and wipe it off with your towel. Once you've got the sides and the top evenly covered, you'll notice you have a little ridge here. Just kind of smooth that down. It doesn't need to look pretty because we're not going to see this. We're going to let it chill for about 15 minutes. This is going to let the crumb coat really lock in and seal the cake. So now that our cake has chilled, our crumb coat is firmed up a little bit, we can put our next layer of buttercream on. And add about another cup of buttercream. So what we're gonna do is just start slowly smoothing and moving our buttercream out to the borders of the cake. If you notice that your buttercream seems a little bit warm, you can always chuck it in the fridge and then re-whip it when you bring it back out, if it'll make it a little bit easier to work with. So once again, we're just working our buttercream out to the border of the cake. At this point, I'm gonna use my offset and just kind of gently smooth out the center. You can see I've got this little ridge of buttercream here. We're just gonna start kind of pulling that down with the offset spatula. We'll use this ridge to begin to frost the sides. I'm gonna add a little bit more buttercream to my offset spatula and continue to frost the sides. You don't need a perfectly smooth finish to have a really beautiful end product. Once my sides have pretty full coverage and I'm not seeing any little bits of the cake peeking through, I'm gonna clear off my spatula, dip it in some warm water, wipe it off, and just do one final pass to kind of smooth it out. Then I'm gonna go back and kind of smooth these ridges down a little bit. We're gonna do this really elegant finish where we're creating this line. You can see how just by moving the offset spatula back and forth, I'm creating this ridge. Once I've developed that little ridge around the entire border of the cake, I'm just gonna kind of take one more smooth pass. So we're slowly but surely moving the buttercream towards the border of the cake with the offset spatula. Then we'll just smooth out the center. Now that our cake is totally covered in frosting, we're gonna wanna pop it back in the fridge just for a few moments to let it chill and firm up. I'm gonna demonstrate two techniques. One is my signature buttercream squiggle. I started squiggling because I was looking for a sort of playful, not too serious approach to cake decorating. I think it's really inspired by Memphis style, 90s designs, even some of the line drawings of Matisse. And I'm gonna show you how to do it with just a piping bag. You don't need a lot of fancy tips, like pastry tips, to achieve cool results. Once the buttercream's in the piping bag, you don't really want a whole lot of bubbles in there. So by just taking my spatula and kind of smoothing the buttercream against the side of the mixing bowl, I want to create kind of a narrow line today. So I'm going to cut it just a small amount. So we're going to fold the sides of the piping bag down, and we're gonna place it in the jar. It's gonna make it a lot easier to fill the piping bag. If you've ever decorated a cake before and felt nervous, practice on a sheet tray. You can experiment with designs. You can really get a feel for how your buttercream moves. Now that we've had a chance to practice our design, we're gonna go ahead and squiggle right on the surface of the cake. I like to start on one end of the cake and then rotate and fill in any other areas. Another fun thing you can do, maybe we need a few dots. You can use the dots to fill in any gaps. And there you have it, super simple, playful squiggle pattern on the top of our cake. Now we're gonna demonstrate how to do a buttercream ruffle. First off, we're gonna demonstrate with the piping bag. I'm gonna cut a slit right about here, just straight across. I'm then gonna cut the piping bag up the side, right here, just about 1/2 inch. What we've got now is an opening with a slit towards the top. We're gonna fill our piping bag with buttercream. Once again, you don't want to put too much buttercream in the bag. This will make it easier to control. So you're holding the piping bag in one hand, the slit's facing to the top. We're gonna apply some gentle pressure. If I move the piping bag back and forth, I can achieve this really beautiful ruffled effect. When I'm doing the buttercream ruffle in the cake, I like to follow the border, gently and slowly moving your turntable. To finish, just stop applying pressure and pull away. And there you have it. Super easy technique to create this really pretty effect. So let's say you don't have a piping bag. We can actually achieve a really similar effect with just a plastic bag. I'm gonna show you how. First, you're gonna cut across the corner of the bag. So I've created a small opening in the corner of the bag. Then we're gonna do a very similar slit. You're gonna wanna keep this one just a little bit smaller. Now we have a slit in the corner of our plastic bag. You wanna hold it so the opposing corner kind of gets tucked up there with your hands. And then again, you're just gonna create some gentle pressure so that the buttercream works its way towards the corner we've created with our nice little slit. Just like with the piping bag, we're gonna start on one side, gently apply pressure so that the buttercream comes out of the bag while slowly rotating the turntable. And there you have it, an equally elegant buttercream ruffle just made with a plastic bag. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss the next episode where we take these cakes to the next level. They're really gonna be something to impress your friends.